Let's take a look into America's economic future with a man they call the Oracle of Omaha. Legendary investor Warren Buffett's famous shareholders meeting usually takes place in May, but this week he convened a special meeting. Bianca Godriga traveled to Omaha to catch up with Buffett, who is sounding off on everything from bonuses on Wall Street to jobs on Main Street, and he is one who knows, doesn't he?
He does know, and this is actually the first special shareholders meeting he's held since 1998, so this was a big deal. And the purpose of Wednesday's meeting was to discuss Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway's plan to purchase railroad giant Burlington Northern. Valued at $26 billion, this would be Buffett's largest acquisition ever. I had a chance to sit down with Buffett before the meeting and asked him his thoughts on a variety of topics, including Tuesday's stunning election results in Massachusetts and what that means for the future of health care. Do you think that health care is dead?
Well, I don't know whether it's dead, but if it was in, in sort of the sniffle stage before, it's in intensive care now, obviously. But how it all plays out, who knows? I mean, you're going to need 60 votes. I don't think going to the House directly is likely to work. And no, the American public is not enthused about the health care bill, and that was expressed. Healthcare is going to be tough whenever it's brought up. I do think the economy has got to be job one, because when people don't have jobs, when they're not feeling good about the economy, they're going to be sour on things generally. And the economy has to come first.
The last time we spoke, you compared the first stimulus plan to taking half a tab of Viagra.
Yeah, right.
But then you also suggested that we may actually need a second one as well. Do you still feel that way?
We need to get money in people's pockets, and the first stimulus plan has not been, in my opinion, terrific at doing that. And it got loaded with all kinds of things. If there's any government activity now, I think it should be directly targeted, to the extent necessary, at just getting money in the pockets of people who need it and want to spend it.
I wanted to ask your opinion on the administration's decision to tax Wall Street banks.
I don't think it makes sense. I mean, by and large, the banks, many big ones, have repaid the government back with high rates of interest. I mean, 20% interest. The banks are not going to be the cause of big losses in the TARP program. So I don't think it makes any sense.
Do you think that the administration instead should have been taxing Wall Street bonuses?
Yeah, there's no question that if I wanted to get elected to Congress here in the 2nd District of Nebraska, I might be going after beggars, but that doesn't mean it's right. The less money the Goldman pays in the bonus, the bigger the earnings are that come to me. It doesn't go to the government. It doesn't go to the people that are mad about losing their houses or are unemployed. It goes to the shareholder. So it's sort of a false argument to say that we'll take away these bonuses and we'll solve everything. There are a lot of bonuses that aren't justified. I don't make no mistake about that. But if they get paid for performing, I do not have a problem.
And what about unemployment, currently hovering at 10%?
Do you think we've hit the peak, or do you think it'll continue to rise?
I don't see any big bounce in employment. So then the question is how big is the workforce in determining the unemployment rate? But I don't think it's a high probability, but I wouldn't rule it out.
What's the first thing you would do to trigger job growth here?
Well, that's a very tough question. You'd get money into people's hands one way that are going to spend it. And I mean, that's sort of a classic solution, and we've done some of that, but this has been a big problem. I mean, so it doesn't lend itself, to a magic bullet. And if I had a magic bullet, I'd mail it to the president.
I guess you could say the bullet's in the mail. Buffett also weighed in on the housing market. He believes that a recovery is in fact underway, especially for those homes valued at $500,000 and below. The key, he said, is to make sure that inventories stay down, which means that he'd like to see fewer homes built over the next few months.
And it's legendary that he still lives in the same home he's lived in for years and years and years.
Same home, same frugal car.
Mm-hmm.
Very earnest man.
All right. Thanks so much, Bianca.